factors which sort of limits the full participation of women in fields such as STEM?
The aim is to exhibit, to demonstrate the technologies that we have been working with over the years.
Your job as a leader is to ensure that you train people who are even better than you are. That's leadership, because you would leave one day and you ought to equip people with
At this juncture, then, we'll proceed to invite Dr. Julius Garvey, who is the founder and chair of the Marcus Garvey Institute for Human Development, who is also the son of the late Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, for his welcome remarks. I'm hoping Dr. Garvey is connected on the call.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be here. I'd like to thank the Association of African Universities for this opportunity to be with you on this year's African Universities Day. I had the opportunity to visit your headquarters down in Accra last year. This was arranged by our cohort partners, the Center for Global Africa. It's an important day. I think it's important also for us to have a little bit of perspective and to look back as we, shall we say, celebrate today and look towards the future. I'm going to take us back to 1966 for a while. President Kenneth Kaunda became the first chancellor of the University of Zambia when it was inaugurated on July the 3rd, back in 1966. He invited Julius Nyerere, then president of the Republic of Tanzania, and Chancellor of the University of East Africa, to attend the ceremony to give their opening address. President Nyerere said, "Your Excellencies, we have achieved many things in Africa in recent years and can look back with some pride at the distance we have traveled. But we are a long way from achieving the thing we originally set out to achieve, and I believe there's a danger that we might now voluntarily surrender our greatest dream of all. For it was as Africans that we dreamed of freedom, and we fought for it for Africa. Our real ambition was African freedom and African government. The fact that we fought in areas or area by area was merely a tactical necessity. The question we now have to answer is whether Africa shall maintain this internal separation as we defeat colonialism, or whether our earlier proud boast, "I'm an African," shall become a reality. He answered his own question and he said, "It is not a reality now." Well, almost 60 years have passed. 2 generations of Africans have been educated by our independent universities. Can we now wake up in the morning and proudly boast, "I am an African"? Or do we still say, "I'm a Ghanaian, I'm a Nigerian, I'm a Jamaican, I'm a Brazilian, I'm an American," etc.? Carter G. Woodson, a diaspora African in the United States in the 1930s, told us we were being miseducated when we were being taught systematically by the same people who killed our ancestors, kidnapped our great-great-grandparents, raped our grandmothers, and worked our grandfathers to an early grave. He said the educational system developed in Europe and the Americas and the resultant philosophy and ethics justified slavery, peonage, segregation, lynching, and colonialism. Due to the African being taught the same economics, history, philosophy, literature, and religion that has established that code of morals, then the mind of the African has been brought under the control of the oppressor. Marcus Garvey, in 1937, in a speech in Halifax, Nova Scotia, said, "We're going to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery, because whilst others may free the body, none but ourselves can free the mind." Kwame Nkrumah in 1957 said, "We must achieve first the political kingdom." And we have done that. 55 independent countries in Africa, about 15 in the Caribbean, etc. But have we liberated our minds? Marcus Garvey also said, "A people without the knowledge of their past history, traditions, and culture is like a tree without roots." Are we rooted in our history, the oldest in the world? Are we rooted in our civilizations and culture, the oldest and most complete in the world? Kush, Nubia, Kemet, Ethiopia, Mali, Ghana, Songhai, Benin, Great Zimbabwe, Monomotapa, and others. Marcus Garvey said, "Education is the process by which a people are prepared for the creation of their own particular civilization and the achievement of their own glory." All African educational systems, beginning in Kemet, are rooted in the cosmic view of a divine creation with humans as an integral part of that manifestation, as well as its highest expression. The purpose of education, the socialization process, was and is the transformation of the human towards the full expression of his or her divine potential. Matthew Arnold said, "Civilization is the humanization of man within society." What Europe and America have produced can be called at best a technological civilization based on the values and philosophy of scientific materialism, technological innovation, individualism, greed, and imperialism. There's no virtue in replicating that. What then of an African educational system fit for the 21st century and the true liberation of all Africans globally? Clearly, that has to be a Pan-African educational system created by Africans for Africans. The Marcus Garvey Institute and the Center for Global Africa will present some of its designs in the panel tomorrow, headed by Dr. Ezra Aharon of the Center for Global Africa. But I do look forward to working with the Association of African Universities, so I will not attempt to delineate those systems here. Returning to Nyerere, he said, the time available for serious thinking about the way forward to Pan-Africanism is limited in the extreme. Who is to keep us active in the struggle towards Pan-Africanism if it is not the professors and students of our universities? Who is it who will have the time and ability to think out the practical problems of achieving this goal of unification if it is not those who have an opportunity to think and learn without direct responsibility for day-to-day affairs? And cannot the universities themselves move in this direction? Share expertise, share certain services, link our intellectual life. Let the universities put proposals before our government and then demand from the politicians a reasoned answer based on African unity. The current crisis of Africa is a crisis of the mind, of miseducation and lack of education of our youth. So we are responsible for the education of our youth to give us a new African conscious of his divine purpose, new leadership conscious that their purpose is to serve their people and thus introduce a new Africa that can sit at the table of nations in sovereign splendor and demonstrate those lessons of civilized living that produce freedom, justice, prosperity, and mutual respect for human dignity and national sovereignty. The future of Africa is in your hands. May you understand your duty and accomplish your task. One God, one aim, one destiny. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that powerful message. Mainly a message related to all of us really freeing our mind and emancipating ourselves from mental freedom, and really pushing and making sure that our youth are not miseducated and are also being educated appropriately. Thank you very much. We really want to acknowledge you.